welcome back to Rising with Prosperity. Today, I want to introduce you guys to Matthew Meza. He is a top producer at Prosperity Real Estate and Associates. And today, Matt, when we were having the meeting, I know that you also shared a big portion of that meeting. And it was such an amazing, it was impacting. I really, really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
So I wanted to do this podcast with you because I think it would be great for everybody to hear what your takeaway was, what your input was. Why don't you share with them a little bit about what you talked about today?
Okay, sure, yeah. Well, thank you very much for inviting me on the podcast. It definitely is an honor. The podcast is amazing, by the way. I love it. Watch every episode.
Thank you.
But what I shared today was something happened. Well, besides having an amazing month of June, something happened right at the end of May, leading into June, which was I actually lost $20,000.
$20,000.
Yeah, $20,000.
That hurts.
That hurts. That hurts anybody right now. Anybody's hearing that? If you've lost $20,000, you know what I'm feeling. I had a buyer that I've been working with through the pandemic. It was on hold, obviously, because of what happened. But been working with them, getting them qualified. I've actually been working on the agent. The agent actually took the home off the market because of the pandemic. And then she told me prior to putting it back on the market, she goes, "Hey, if your buyer's still interested on it, let me know." And so, a month and a half, 2 months went by, and then we started negotiating, started working, calling it, and actually submitted the offer. Got a counter back, and then she countered back. We countered back, kind of going back and forth. Finally, we kind of almost came to an agreement. We were about 90% there. I received a counter. Everything that the buyer was going to agree to. It was over the weekend. I remember getting it on a Friday, and late Friday, and I told the buyer, I said, "Look, this is a done deal. I've already talked to her, and everything." And so what happened was, I underestimated it, and I actually let the weekend go, and I told him, "Hey, let's talk." He mentioned, "Let's talk to the lender, and let's get the numbers just to make sure monthly payment and down payment is everything that you were looking for." Weekend went by. I called the agent Monday. I said, "Hey, I'm going to get the counter signed and we'll open escrow today." She goes, "Ooh, Matthew, sorry, but we got another offer, and I sent out that counter, and they signed it right away and got it back to me." And it was very disappointing. Buyer was very upset. It kind of really hurt my character as a not only as a person but as an agent, because that's just not me. That's just not something I do, So it was hurtful. It really was. But through great coaching, as we get here, at Prosperity from Faviola and Jorge, I just had to kind of let it go and become resilient and it really led me to what I'm going to talk about today, which gave me the success in June, because I was able to bounce right back. And it was a quote I heard from a movie called It's called Greater. It's on Netflix. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I haven't, but I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, you've got to watch that. And if anybody's seen it out there, it's on his tombstone. It says, "Our loss is great, but God is greater." And so that really resonated with me. I was like, wow, that was powerful, man. That was so powerful to hear that. And we're reading the book, which you guys have a book of the month every month, and it was called The Power of Intention. And I'm reading it, I'm listening to it, and it kind of all hit me when he was talking about how the love and trust in yourself, and loving yourself, and really trusting yourself. What you're doing is you're going by the wisdom that created you, which is, we believe God, He created you that way to love yourself and trust yourself, versus living in really I guess you could say, living in fear of what could happen, because this is that the instance could have damaged me. I mean, coming right out of the pandemic, I was excited. I'm like, $20,000, wow, happy for my clients. Put a deal together, that's huge for my family, for my finances. So that could have really crumbled me, and I didn't let that crumble me, or didn't let that affect me. So I just kept going, and this month of June was 4 contracts signed,
Yes.
which was 3 listings and an escrow, and with those two of the listings out of the 3, they're buyers as well. They need to buy, and so I was actually doing the numbers right after the sales meeting, and I was wondering because I wondered that while I was doing it, I was like, I don't know the volume, and the volume actually doubled. And that house that I lost out at 800, it was like 1.7.
Yes.
So it just goes to show you when you're coming from a place of love, when you're coming from a place of appreciation and gratitude, and you don't let those negative things that impact you or stop you, you can do some pretty amazing things.
And luckily you took the time to step back and really take a look at it. And many agents will fall into depression for a long time and not only lose out on that particular deal, but lose out on potential other clients that they could be helping, right?
Exactly, and especially coming after the pandemic, that hurt. I really did. I was like, wow, like how can I mess this up? This is a rookie mistake. I made a rookie mistake. And so, but I didn't let that affect me, and seeing that movie, and then reading the books, obviously getting coached by you and George, it just really helped out. And what I also got from the book was, when you fall into love and you trust yourself, when you don't do those things, you are denying the wisdom that created you, and then you're in favor of your own ego, which is fear. And so you have a choice to make. I had a choice to make, which was either, trust in myself, trust in what in the book in the Power of Intention, what he talks about is the host, which is God. Yes. Trust in that come from a place of love, that you're gonna, learn from that mistake, come back stronger, and just keep moving forward. Or if you're gonna choice to let ego take you hostage. And as a hostage, you have no control. You have no control. You think you don't, but you really do. So it was just about taking back that control and saying, hey, made a mistake, learn from it, and choose to treat the next client, the next person, with love, knowing that's not the agent I am, and I know I could do better, and the results show. So.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted everybody to hear. You were able to release.
Yeah.
You were able to come from a place of love, a place of gratefulness. You were able to come and bless other families.
Yes.
And I know that June was a good month. July is going to be an even better month. Just from we're able to, looking at your numbers, we're able to identify where you're heading to. So
definitely.
So certainly, this was actually maybe even a blessing in disguise.
Yes.
Right.
I think it was. I had a meeting with George, and it was right after that. Because I was excited. I told you guys, I was like, hey, this is looking good. I think I'm gonna get this accepted. And then weekend came, and then we met, and then I told George, I was like, you know what? I said, I'm not going to let this define me. One bad mistake, I'm not going to let it ruin the second half. And it really, all of this kind of really reminds me of what this year has become. A lot of people are just throwing the towel. I'm done. This COVID-19, though everything's going on, it's just ruined my year. I can't let that define me, and I can't. I can't let COVID either define me. I gotta just keep moving forward and just come from a place of love and just keep moving forward.
I agree. Our circumstances do not define
us,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
We get to choose.
Yes.
And every single day we have a decision to make when we wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to allow our ego to control us and keep us hostage, or are we going to come from a place of love and kindness? And I love that. Thank you so much for your humbleness and being able to share, because we all make mistakes. I mean, I don't care who you are. Mm-hmm. Every single one of us makes mistakes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Some of us are open to sharing it so that we can learn from it, and some of us are like, oh no, I don't want anybody to know.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's how we grow. That's exactly how we grow. And you know what? When we come, because we're all, it's not like this is it. You're never going to hit another challenge. You're never going to make another mistake. Yeah. The reality is that as a human being, we are. We are. But the difference is, do we rise from that challenge, right?
Right, exactly.
Like, do we allow it to be a stumbling block, or do we allow it to be a stepping stone?
Exactly.
Because as we grow, even like it doesn't matter how much you produce, it doesn't matter what business you're in, it doesn't matter what you do for a living, but the reality is that as you grow, you still make mistakes, and sometimes you make even bigger mistakes.
Right.
The difference is that you don't stay there, right? The difference is that you might even take a couple steps back, look, what did I do? Where can I become better? What do I need to change? You make that change, and then you keep on moving forward, and that's a perfect example where you start having your breakthroughs, where you start producing more, right?
Exactly.
Where you left that behind you, on to the next, right? So thank you so much, and I really hope that you guys got something out of this. Tell them again the book that you were quoting a little bit on.
It was The Power of Intention by Wayne Dwyer.
Dwyer, yeah.
Dwyer.
Yes, that's a great book, right?
Amazing book, man. I just have a quick page of what I learned from there, but there's a lot of amazing things in there. You have to read it. It's one of the great books, and one of the great things about being here at Prosperity is that they recommend the books, so you have to read them. It's so powerful, and it's no coincidence that the book that they recommend is exactly reflective of what's going on in your business and how it's able to guide you through your business and through the year, and you can easily correlate it. Like, this book wasn't, you may think, oh, what a coincidence, you guys recommend this book, and this book really helped me, guided me through that tough time real quick, and just helped me bounce back faster.
Yes.
Yeah.
So read it.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much, Matt. I really enjoyed this talk, and I really enjoyed this interview, and I hope that you guys have as well. And I'm going to close us off the way we always do. Prosperity, because you deserve it.